Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
This is the Sports Trapp Podcast, and my name is John Trapp. And as always, my man, my road dog, Christopher C-Rod Rodriguez, and on the ones and twos, Mr. Khoa. What up?
What it do, Houston?
What's up? What's up, baby?
We back.
Woo!
Been a while.
Boy, we got a show for you today. Man, can we get somebody on the field that's not going to be injured? Nick Foles is out. Drew Brees is out. Ben Roethlisberger is out.
Out.
Eli Manning. Oh, well, he didn't get injured. But
He should have been out a long time ago.
Little Eli benching once again. 2 weeks in the NFL. Who is the best NFL team? Is it KC? Is it the Patriots? Baltimore Ravens been balling.
Lamar Jackson.
Listen, for everybody that's a fan of this next team I'm about to mention, hold up. But are the Dallas Cowboys for real?
I think they're for real.
Ooh.
Ugh, I hate to say it. That
So,
hurt.
AB wanted out of the Raiders. Actually, he wanted out of the Steelers. Melvin Gordon wanted out. And everybody else on the Miami Dolphins wants out. But there's another one. After the beating that they took from the Houston Texans, Jalen Ramsey decides he wants to no longer be a part of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we'll get into that a little bit. Also, we can't miss KD not wanting to go back to OKC in his little Wall Street Journal piece. And man, as a father, as somebody that has seen and heard Lonzo Ball go through his NBA career, we got to see a little snippet, little family dynamic of how LeVar Ball and Lonzo Ball all work into their little ball business, big baller brand situation plays out.
Based off the revenue, it seems like it's a little baller, but it's just
But
me
we'll
being
get
me.
into that. But first, as always, you know what we do here in Houston, Texas. We got to bring up a little bit of the Houston Texans game this past weekend. Houston Texans defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars by 1 point.
Ooh, it was a good game.
So, Chris, does that make you feel better that we're 1-1 or more of the same?
You know, I don't know how to approach the Texans right now because both games have been so unique and so different from each other. But the one thing that keeps standing out like a sore thumb is the lack of coaching. And it's bothersome. And most importantly, the fact that right now Deshaun Watson is averaging 5 sacks per game. And
He had 6 sacks the first game, now 4 sacks this past game.
so it's about 5 sacks he's averaging, and I don't know if he can withstand that for the next 14 games. And so for me, especially as going into the full schedule now, where the game's going to get harder, we're playing against really good defenses. That's worrisome. That's worrisome for his health. So yeah, I mean, you know what?
So what? Okay. In week 1, we looked pretty good offensively for going up against the Saints. Week 2, we look a little bit more better. We look better defensively, although we did give up a late touchdown to make the game a little too interesting for my taste, my liking. But what is the real Texans team on the field? Like, are we more defensive? Are we more offensive? After 2 weeks, what can you actually base your opinion on about the Texans?
It seems like a team that still doesn't know who they are, identity-wise. And to me, ultimately, your coaching staff and your coach dictates the identity. But when you look at even when Bill O'Brien is talking to the media and how he addresses certain subjects, even through the offseason, even to as of 2 days ago, it just comes across as a coach that seems like he's way over his head and doesn't really know what he's doing. He's just kind of riding with the emotions. And it kind of feels like that's reflective of the Texans right now. And like we should already be in week. We should have already been in week 1 knowing who we are, right?
Right,
And so
right.
we really still don't know who we are, and to me, that's worrisome, especially when the elite teams are already separating themselves already. As we go into week 3.
Right. So, who do you actually think is the best team in our division? Because we're all sitting at 1-1,
Ooh.
and we got the Colts at 1-1. We have Tennessee at 1-1, and the Houston Texans, of course, are 1-1. But Tennessee blew out the Jaguars in Week 1, but then they lose to Jacoby Brissett and the Indianapolis Colts, and that shouldn't even been that close. They what? I think Vinatieri missed a few field goals in that game, and they still
No, they blew out the Cleveland Browns. The first game, Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, I still don't see that there's nobody that's above and head and shoulders above anybody else in our division. And honestly, we're in first place by default.
It seems to me that all those teams could all finish possibly, 9-6, 8-8. It's just gonna go to division wins. I think, realistically, based off of what I've seen right now, the reasons why I'm gonna give the edge to the Texans of being the best team in the AFC South right now is because if you look at hands down who has the best quarterback, obviously Deshaun Watson is the best quarterback out of. I mean, he's top 5 period all in NFL. So he's the best quarterback in that division. It seems like Tennessee has a really good defense. The Colts okay defense. Texans okay defense. Man, it should be interesting how it's going to come to the end. But if I had a choice, who's the best team? I mean, Deshaun Watson proved in the first week he can literally lead his team to a victory on his own. So
Right.
I'm going to give it to Deshaun Watson.
What did you think about Carlos Hyde? I mean, he looked pretty good, 90 yards. I mean, it wasn't a bust him out game for any per se body, but at the same time, we did what we had to do to get the win. I just felt like we made it too close there at the end, and for all the things that went wrong in Week 1 as far as defensive assignments and stuff, I'll tell you what, the safety Reed with that stop at the goal line was impressive. I mean,
It was impressive, especially against somebody like Fournette, who's a big dude. That was a great. I think for the morale for the Texans, maybe that might help them piece themselves together to an identity. Maybe sometimes the best wins are the ugliest wins to figure out who you want to be in, week 3, week 4, week 5. And I especially after losing a heartbreaker the first week against New Orleans, which was a fucking amazing game, by the way. I think that I think morale wise, I think for the Texans this was a great win. For me personally, it bothered me a lot that they won the way they won. The fact that Jacksonville was able to come back with a rookie quarterback who they pretty much came in to check and then found a way to basically, cut through our defense and find a way to win. And what a gutsy call on the coach from Jacksonville to even go for the 2-point. You're already 0-1. You might as well go for the win. Why even go for the tie? Yes, we made that stop, but I didn't like the fact that it got to that point.
right. One thing that I keep going back to the same thing about Deshaun Watson is just I don't like the fact that they run him. You see somebody like Dak Prescott who's been running since college, but he's very even methodical in that. And when they decide to have him run, but he's never had any injuries that I know of, or not that anybody is disclosed of as far as ACL tears and whatnot. But with Deshaun Watson, he's had 2, one in college and one in the pros. And for me, the way that he puts himself in harm's way when he decides to jump in the air or get the extra yardage, it just does not seem like it's a smart move to put him in that type of danger. He had another 4 carries, and he had another four opportunities, and I don't mind it when the play breaks down.
Yeah.
And you have to go, and you don't have any options, and it just seemed like offensively, the Jacksonville Jaguars, defensively, the Jacksonville Jaguars had the Houston Texans kind of locked down as far as their wide receivers. Nobody had more than 5 catches, of course, and that's Hopkins. But it was good to see Fuller get some catches out there, and it was also good to see Carlos Hyde. Now, what I was really, really hoping for, too, to be honest with you, was Duke Johnson. I know you would mention that previously, but I was hoping Duke Johnson was more than a third down back. But
fortunately, he's not, and I think that's just when I really truly question our coaching staff. Bill O'Brien is when he was persistent to the media. He is going to be an everyday back, that he has the ability to do that, but that's never been who Duke Johnson is. And honestly, I don't know. I felt good about Carlos Hyde, but at the same time, Carlos Hyde was also on an emotional run too because of the way Jacksonville Jaguars treated him last year.
Right.
So he had a lot of. He took that very personal. So he brought a lot of emotion, but at his age, can he withstand that for the rest of the season? I don't know.
How good? And let me preface this by saying this. So with the Jacksonville Jaguars and how good their defense was with us, I think that we do have a good offensive team, but Jacksonville Jaguars, for whatever it's worth, whether they're underrated or not defensively, they've always been a good defensive team.
Always been a good
right?
defensive team.
Especially they play us really well, right? Division rivals. But Jalen Ramsey no longer wants to be a part of it. He is asked for a release from his team, saying all the right things. He's saying, as long as I'm on this team, I'm preparing to be on this team, weekly, right? But he is gone ahead and said he no longer wants to be on this team. And he had a sideline incident with his coach, and they got into it not once but twice. And so, I don't know how much longer that team can stay up the way they are because of situations of having Blake Bortles and having a horrible, for NFL standards, horrible quarterback, and then get Nick Foles, and then week 1 breaks his collarbone. Basically, he's out for the season. And then Gardner Minshew, who I've never even heard of before the fact that he came onto this the as a backup for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And at what point is enough? At what point do you say, I just don't want to be on this team anymore? So is it a problem for Jacksonville defensively, or is Jalen Ramsey just emotional?
There seems to be a big rift between him and the coach. It was obviously some rifts going on in the beginning during the offseason between them. I don't think Jalen Ramsey respects him, and at the same time, I also think it's an emotional thing too. I think that listen, man, when you lose the Kansas City Chiefs the way you do, right? And then you come and lose the Texans and the way they did. Maybe, and we don't know the truth, but maybe Jalen Ramsey felt that they should have gone for the field goal and gone for the overtime, as opposed to call that running play that they called. I don't know, but golly, I wish that Texans had a first round pick to give the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, because what's the one thing that we said that we needed to address during the offseason was our cornerback position, our DB.
Right. Besides the offensive line.
Besides the offensive line, right? So, it's interesting. And the reason why I bring this up, and I'm saying this, is because Micah Fitzpatrick, who is an amazing safety who wasn't being used properly, wanted him to be all over the place, wanted a trade. And they traded Micah to the Steelers for just 1 first-round pick. Just 1.
Right.
And, of course, the Texans had to give up 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick next year to get Lance. So what I'm saying is, How did that come to be? Like, how is it that somebody like Mika, who's you know how hard it is to find a good safety,
Right.
like. This is why having a GM is so important. And I know we keep beating a dead horse, but like we got fleeced for everything basically.
Yeah.
And now look, we could easily pick up Jalen Ramsey right now and give a first round pick because he's worth a first round pick. He is a shutdown corner.
What does that say about the NFL now? Because it basically, you have somebody like Larry Tunsil, who we all kind of like held our breath for a split second when Larry Tunsil seemed to
like he got
roll
hurt.
his ankle and he was out for the series, but thankfully he's okay. But Tunsil's out with Tunsil gets traded for a first round pick. Amari Cooper gets traded for a first round pick. You have the guy that just got traded from the Dolphins.
Mika Fitzpatrick
Traded for a first round pick. It seems like it's turning a little bit into the NBA. Like that's the barometer now. I mean, when I was going and getting into the NFL, third round picks were huge. I remember them trading 6th round picks, 7th round picks.
Well, I think to your notion, I think the NFL is a little bit different than NBA though, because in the NBA, you can offer somebody a first round pick for a superstar, but it's still not a fair trade because you're lucky if you don't get that lottery and you're not a top 3, your chances that first round pick doesn't mean diddly squat. And in NFL though, trading a former first round pick for a first round pick is an even trade. Even if that first round pick ends up being the 14th pick overall, you can still get something substantial with all the talent that comes out of college football that's going to help your team. So I think I wish that felt the same way in the NBA. Like if you trade LeBron James for a first round pick, that first round pick is going to somewhat give you some type of matching, but it usually doesn't. So
well, the news right now is Jalen Rose is demanding at least a first round pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jalen Ramsey.
You said Jalen Rose.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jalen Ramsey. He's gonna get traded for a first round pick, and anybody that's looking to make that championship run is gonna give up that first round pick.
How much you want to bet New England gives a first round pick for?
Nope. I don't think that's gonna happen. Guess who I think is gonna get him?
The 49ers.
That'd be a good one, but unfortunately, they're not ready for the Super Bowl just yet.
I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs.
I see him clearly on the Kansas City Chiefs. What's the one thing that you can, as a team, battle the New England Patriots for, like head to head? What would you get for the New England Patriots as what would you predict their kryptonite would be?
They're wide receivers.
Right. I mean, that's what they got Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown, Dorsett, and Edelman, right? That's your wide receiver core. The best way to combat that is go get cornerbacks and DBs.
It would definitely solidify the Honey Badgers' position as a safety to
100%.
bring Ramsey out there. So now you have 2 ball hawks out there. I don't know, man. That would be nasty, but Kansas City or New England seems like the 2 teams that are going to find a way to get him.
So that's a perfect segue into what I was just going to bring up. Now, Chris, you just went to Las Vegas, and I wanted you to be able to get a good perspective because you got to sit, what was the MGM?
Yeah, we're at the MGM. We were watching at the...
No. You weren't just watching. You were watching every game.
We were watching, yeah.
Every game on every screen. Well, all the screens.
You were at Caesars.
Yeah, we're at Caesars.
Caesars.
We stayed at MGM, but we went to Caesars. Yeah.
So you've been, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So at their sports betting lobby, it's like...
It's ridiculous.
100 TVs up there. And so you get to see basically every game. Mm-hmm. So the betting line is right now, the Patriots are favored. It's like something ridiculous, like 20-1. Everybody else is goes from there. But since you get to see all the teams play, who do you think is the number 1 team in the NFL right now?
Man, that's so tough.
KC, Baltimore.
Man, you know what? Honestly, I hate to say it, but somebody told me a few minutes ago before we started the show, you never bet against who, Khoa?
TB12.
That's right. So here's at this thing, when you look at the New England schedule, their schedule is weak. They could go undefeated.
Oh my God.
They can go undefeated again. So
no, I can see them going undefeated, like 6-0. I really can.
I see right now New England. Now here's a soft spot here. Well, we've noticed this week in NFL, all the elite QBs that we put in the elite QBs are slowly dwindling away. Roethlisberger, now Breeze. The old guys are moving out because you can only get older and only sustain so many hits before it takes you out. Now we all agree. Brady is one hit away, the perfect hit to be out.
But that's everybody.
No, it is everybody, but because of Brady's age, it makes it that more significant, right? So if they keep Brady protected, continue the whole season, the way they're playing, because they've been dominating teams. Pittsburgh and then the Dolphins, I don't even know why they're in. They just need to you know what they need to do? They need to go ahead and switch Alabama into their division and take the Dolphins out because they're garbage.
Listen, I've never thought that before, but shoot, man, this is the best team out of this is the best chance of a college football team.
Alabama
Alabama.
Clemson.
Would bring Clemson in.
I will slap you silly right now, man. Roll Tide would definitely, we'll get out of that level, but Roll Tide would definitely beat Miami. But as of right now,
that should be the championship goal.
Yeah, right.
Like whoever wins gets to the NFL, and Miami has to go down.
Step down. But honestly, I think the best team right now, hands down, all around, is New England. But Kansas City, if they can pull off a Jalen Ramsey and better their defense, because right now the thing that's going to always be the nail in the coffin for the Kansas City Chiefs, as exciting as they are to watch, is the fact that they don't have a defense. You got to be able to play defense. We saw it last year when they couldn't make it stop.
Well, 43-0, dude.
So with that being said, I'm going to crown the New England Patriots as the best team in the NFL. But I am curious to see what's going to happen between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens, because Ravens, and we talked about this before the season even started, that we felt the Baltimore could easily be an elite Super Bowl team because of what they put together, both offensive and defensively.
I can hear the Cowboy fans just fuming right now. You didn't even mention it.
Listen, check this out.
I got something for the Cowboys fans. I got something for you guys.
To Chris's point, the point differential, first of all, the Patriots are scoring ridiculous. They've scored the most in the league. Oh no, second most in the league behind Baltimore Ravens. But the difference between them and Baltimore is they have yet to give up a touchdown. And I'm not saying that they play great teams. I'm just saying, period. They have yet to give up a touchdown. You know how many points they've given up, period, this whole season?
Who?
The Patriots. 3.
Oh, 3. That's right.
Yeah.
3
They got
points.
a field goal from,
That's it. Their plus minus is plus 73, the best in the league by far. It's not even close.
And they've had one of the best defenses the last 2 years. Defense is what allowed them to win against the Rams last year.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So then you add, if Antonio Brown doesn't get kicked out of the NFL, you add Antonio Brown to already a lot of weapons you've already surrounded. And that's the thing. We were going into the offseason saying, well, New England's lost some key receivers. They lost Gronk. Gronk retired. How they're going to, well, they re-up as usual. That's what New England does. When you have a great GM and a great coach, hint Texans, you can do these type of things.
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? So,
Calm down, Khoa. Calm down.
hey, but I will say this. Dallas Cowboys, and I said this the other day in the barbershop, and everybody wanted to basically give me a horrible haircut and kick me out of the barbershop. I said, and I'm going on record right now, that the Cowboys could go to the Super Bowl and win. They're really good. Offensively and defensively, they're really good.
Jesus Christ.
And that's scary as hell to say that, because I wanted the Texans to win the Super Bowl before the Cowboys ever won a Super Bowl again.
Listen, I'm not saying that the 49ers are better than the Dallas Cowboys.
What? I can't believe we
I'm
mentioned.
just saying, listen, when you're looking at the plus minus, the 49ers are the best in the league right now. I mean, best in the NFC.
Wait, didn't
Cowboys. What?
Wait, before you even go into that stat, didn't you just tell me when I mentioned the 49ers, they haven't played anybody? Didn't you say they're playing sorry teams? So if they're a sorry team beating sorry teams, that just makes them that less sorry?
Well, hey, listen. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're in first place in the NFC South. And that NFC South
Damn.
includes the Falcons, Saints, and the Panthers. And I'm not even gonna get into Cam Newton right now. But all I'm saying is they're 2-0. The Rams are 2-0. Cowboys are 2-0. At this point, I'll take it.
Listen, as a Houston Texans fan, although I was debated earlier if I really was a true fan, right now the best team in Texas is the Dallas Cowboys. They have it all. They have a great offensive line.
Listen.
Hold on. They have a great offensive line. They have a great defensive line. They have a great secondary. They got good special teams. They got a good quarterback. It may not be better than Deshaun Watson, but he's serviceable and he's putting up numbers right now. But they also have the man. They have the elite, the best running back in the NFL, which is Zeke.
Listen, Chris, for as long as we've been doing this show, I've let you talk and rant about the Texans.
Thank you for letting me talk.
And go on and on about the Texans situations. And, sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're, questionable. And I never stepped in. I'm going to have to step in at this point. I don't care how much better the Cowboys are than the Texans. Never mention them again in the same sentence. Do not compare them.
Oh, man.
Do not. If you want to talk about the Cowboys, make it a completely different segment than the Texans. The next time I want you to include that in the same segment is if they're in the Super Bowl. And they're going all Texas Super Bowl.
Listen, if the Cowboys get to the Super Bowl, we're not even gonna do the podcast anymore. Right? I refuse to talk about it.
No,
I'll be
dude,
so upset.
I value my friendship with you, but I'd have to watch where I go with you because I'd scare somebody to be attacking you.
Can I tell you something too, which
What?
is even crazier? Here's a quick little Vegas story. Is that my dream and my goal was not only to go and win big on roulette, but if I won big on roulette, I was gonna buy my wife a Louis Vuitton bag.
Oh, I thought he said he was gonna buy us something, but okay.
Calm down. I was definitely gonna get you guys something from Vegas, but I also was gonna give myself something. And I thought about this. There's a special jersey place that Calvin goes to where you buy one get one half off, right? Nice.
Is that China?
NFL. No. This is actually in
legit.
Yeah, legit.
Okay,
This is
okay.
in the casino place. I think it's MGM or Caesars. I forgot where it's at. But I actually, if I won big, I was gonna buy me an Ezekiel Elliott jersey.
Ooh, man. Okay, listen.
I'm sorry. I've never watched a full Cowboys game ever.
Khoa, say something to your boy.
Until Ezekiel Elliott came to the Dallas Cowboys. And it is so hard not to want to watch the Cowboys because Ezekiel Elliott does special things, man. I like that guy a lot. He's my favorite player.
All right, wait.
He's your favorite player?
What?
Yeah.
No,
As
he's
much
not.
as you talk about Deshaun Watson, you say Ezekiel Elliott is your favorite player.
Deshaun Watson is my favorite Texan, but I like Ezekiel Elliott just that much more. And you know why I like him that much more, right?
Why?
Because Deshaun Watson beat Alabama Crimson Tide, so he gets one. He gets 1 point. He gets 1 point taken off. He gets 1 point taken off. They're tied. They're tied.
Now that we're mentioning favorite players, who's your favorite player, Khoa?
My favorite player?
Me.
It's got to be Deshaun, man. I love
is.
Deshaun.
Deshaun Watson?
I love
Yeah,
Deshaun.
It's
No, Deshaun Jackson.
One-
I'm just kidding.
right.
Cliff, shout out Cliff. He loves Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So no, but that's one thing I've always said about Deshaun Watson. Ever since I was watching him in Clemson, he just seemed to have that special forgetfulness in the sense of, all right, I had a shitty first half, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't accurate on my passing routes or anything like that. So third quarter comes around, it's nitty gritty. It's like where the tread meets the road, and if the game's on the line, he's one of the most special players to watch.
He's a winner. He's a champion, man. He's the truth.
Oh shoot, we didn't even get to bring it up. So, maybe we did. I don't remember. But one of the stats on Deshaun Watson is he's led the team 6 times, scoring a go-ahead touchdown, and the team has let him down defensively. And when you match that up with some of the greats of all time, when it's Tom Brady, whether it's Peyton Manning,
Joe Montana, it's like 6 times in their entire career, and he's done it within 3. You get what I'm saying? That's how much better. I don't want to say he's better than the team himself, but that's the type of team he got surrounding him. But that's how good he is. Yeah. And so I respect anybody that actually believes that Deshaun Watson, not Deshaun Jackson, is their favorite player. I honestly say that. Now this is me being biased. I would even go on the record of saying that right now, personally, as of right now, I think Deshaun Watson is the best quarterback out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Chris, God damn it, Chris. What are you doing to me right now?
I'm pissing you off.
Oh, shit, dude.
Because I already know what he wants to say.
Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL.
He clearly is.
No, he's not.
Hold on. Look, first of all, Deshaun Watson is amazing.
I'm not tell you why.
Hold on. I'm not taking anything away from Deshaun Watson. I just gave you reasons why I think he's so great.
Let John talk real fast.
Freaking Patrick Mahomes became an MVP in the second year, throwing 50 touchdowns. How many quarterbacks ever have thrown 50 touchdowns in a season?
Speak your truth, John.
Right?
Speak your truth.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk that mess.
Then, right. And I'm not saying he is a better quarterback at this point, but how many players like Lamar Jackson, right? Mm-hmm. How many players ever in the NFL has passed for 250 yards and run for 150 yards? No one. Not in the regular season.
Nope.
Not even Deshaun Watson.
That's what I'm saying.
So at this point, you cannot sit here and tell me Deshaun Watson's the best quarterback in the league.
Man, John, you made some really great facts, and those are some. Honestly, if you're on the side of John,
about to piss me off, dude.
If you're on the side of John, you are like, yeah, John just spilled it. He just killed Chris. But let me explain to you my logic of why Deshaun Watson is the better quarterback. Because I guarantee that if you put Mahomes, switch him with Deshaun Watson, and put him in the just ignorant ass offense led by Bill O'Brien, Mahomes would not be doing that. He would not be putting up the numbers he's putting up now. Deshaun Watson is putting up big numbers with no offensive line, with horrible coaching plays, and is still that dominant.
Who is your favorite football player of all time?
Boom.
Who is your favorite football player of all time?
All time?
All time.
Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders?
Time.
Okay, who's your favorite quarterback of all time?
Oh, favorite quarterback of all time? That's a tough one.
No, it's not. You have his jersey.
Oh, Warren Moon.
Right. All right. Is he better than Tom Brady?
No.
Right. So the difference being, Warren Moon wasn't in Tom Brady's system. Tom Brady was in Tom Brady's system. Tom Brady has won 6 championships in his system, right? Warren Moon never got the chance. I'm not saying that Warren Moon couldn't have been great or wouldn't have been great or wouldn't even won 6 championships, but the fact is he didn't. Patrick Mahomes is on the system he's in. Deshaun Watson's not. But at the same time, if Deshaun Watson doesn't ever win a championship and Patrick Mahomes win 2 or 3, you'll never sit here and have anybody agree with you and saying that Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback.
So guess what? I can say that right now because guess what? Neither one has won a championship.
I'm not.
You just brought championships, right?
I'm just saying.
Right.
You're flipping people that hypothetically will never, ever,
I didn't even bring up these old guys. You did.
No, you're talking about, I'm just using your argument.
I'm not, because I clearly said Deshaun Watson to me is the best quarterback in the game right now. For what he has, for what he's dealing with, for what he's working with, he is putting up ridiculous numbers. There is other quarterbacks that are supposedly as good. Cam Newton, right? Baker Mayfield, right? They clearly have better teams, supposedly, or they've been set up with a better coach, supposedly, and they're not even touching Deshaun Watson's feet. What I'm saying right now, and Khoa, I want you to get in this. If you had a choice right now to draft for your team, a franchise quarterback, and you could pick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson,
or even
what
Lamar
you've seen,
Jackson.
who are you picking? I didn't put Lamar Jackson in. We're not talking about him right now. Who are you picking?
Well, I said it. I stand by it. I'm going Deshaun.
You just told me how many times he's led his team to a victory, only to be screwed by a defense. So it's his team that's keeping him from to surpass where you've put Mahomes at. But he's still almost there, right? How many comeback victories has Mahomes had?
I don't know.
Did he win any championships in college football?
No.
So we don't really know about his leadership pedigree. We just know right now he looks elite because he's in a great offensive mind coach with Andy Reid. And they have so many weapons. But I keep challenging anyone that tells me Mahomes is better because I still don't. How we're talking about who the Texans are as far as identity, right now to me the only identity that Mahomes has is Andy Reid's offense. He's running it well.
Right.
Deshaun Watson has showed you he's a champion no matter where he goes, whether it's the elite Clemson or the mediocre Texans. He's still being elite. I'm going to take him because not only is he tough, now based on what you said, even when he makes mistakes, he comes back and learns from his mistakes and executes.
Okay.
Mahomes is still making some shitty mistakes. People don't notice that because they're winning so big, but he's still overthrowing the ball. He's still trying to do no-look passes. Listen, at the end of the day, I like Deshaun Watson because I know he's a proven winner. Mahomes right now is just proving that he can look good in Andy Reid's offense. Now, if Mahomes goes and wins championships, he gets another MVP and he beats the Patriots and he wins a championship, then he's the best quarterback. But right now, it's a two-way tie, and I'm going to give my edge to Deshaun Watson. Boom.
So 50 touchdowns means nothing. So losing Kareem Hunt and still going to AFC Championship means nothing. Losing to the same team that the Texans lost to that Deshaun Watson lost to, the New England Patriots, means nothing. So when you take away Tyreek Hill, that means nothing, right? And you're still winning. You take away. You don't even look at Sammy Watkins away the very next game. That means nothing, and you're still winning by like points, a margin of 30 points a game. That means nothing.
John, let me tell you something right now. Bill O'Brien called a timeout to do a replay review, only to lose 2 timeouts, and they almost won because of Deshaun Watson. To me, that man is against all odds. It's like shaving in the dark.
So you're saying he's winning despite his coach?
He is winning despite his coach. If you put Deshaun Watson in Andy Reid's like genius mind right now and that offense, you're telling me that Deshaun Watson not only throws 50 touchdowns, he probably runs for like 50 touchdowns.
You got it, Chris. You got it.
I'm just saying, man. Look up. Hey, Khoa, where are you, man? I'm big and hey, yo. I just got yelled at by you earlier because I wasn't supporting the Texans. I'm going all in for Deshaun Watson and the Texans.
I commend you. Yeah. I'm never.
That was for you,
again.
man.
Well, here, like, I wanted to switch it up just a little bit. When I say
Mahomes is good, I'm not denying that he's good.
Right. Well, when I say you got it, what I'm referencing is All in the Ball family. What's the show called? Where the Ball brothers and the dad LeVar Ball. I forget. It's something like All in the Family, but. Ball is Life, Ball is World, or something like that. Anyways, they have a snippet on the show and
Ball in the Family.
Ball of the Family. There we go. They have a snippet of the show, and it shows when they're in a little, I guess, round table. It looks like just a simple little dining room, but they're talking business, and they got one of the business managers there, Lonzo Ball, of course, and then LeVar Ball. And Lonzo Ball basically says, "What do you think about changing their name?" LeVar Ball was like, "Nah, screw that. I'm never changing the name," right? And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he basically kind of they kind of take shots at each other, and at this point, Lonzo Ball, the son, goes to the business manager. He's like, "What's your opinion? Do you think we should change the name?" Dad's like, "I don't give a damn what he thinks his opinion is." He's like, "I just want to. I don't care. I don't want his opinion. I don't need his opinion." Right? And that's not too bad for me. But when it gets bad is when what I disagree with is he's like, well, who do you? Why should we change the name, LeVar Ball? Why should we change the name? He's like, well, it's kind of the brand is kind of taking a hit, and he's like, according to who? He's like, the world. That's kind of a.
It's pretty much what he said. Yeah.
And he's like, man, that's like me changing my name or your name to Alfonso Ball, right? Because your brand is taking a hit, or your name is taking a hit.
Or you're damaged goods, basically.
Yeah, you're because the past 2 years you've been damaged goods, so we should just change your name, right? And I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that was tough.
You know, and then finally Lonzo was like, you got it.
So you just Alonzo Ball me? That would you? The whole point of the story was you Alonzo Ball me.
Thing.
So let me ask you something, John. Right now, you have a choice between Mahomes and
my God.
No. It's a fair question. Let me un-Alonzo Ball myself. Let me ask you a question. You have
What's
a choice
up?
between Mahomes and Deshaun Watson based off of what you've seen, right? Who do you pick as your starting quarterback?
Say they're like
You have the choice of either one to start your franchises around as your quarterback.
based on not by a big margin, but based on injury alone, I'll go Mahomes.
Okay, so we know John's losing. His franchise is gonna suck. Like
Okay.
his fantasy football
But-
team. We'll get in that later.
More to the point, as a father, it was tough for me to watch that. And one of the things about the Lonzo Balls and LeVar Ball situation is you never want to put your son in a situation where he feels like he's being under attack.
Yeah, I feel
You know, especially if it's coming from other people, the public or media or whatever. That's one thing, but for your father to use that same vitriol and turn it and throw it in your face into your son, I thought that was kind of harsh and for somebody that is supposed to be like, no, that's my son's company. Oh, that's my son. This is my son put in the forefront. That told me everything was contrary to what he's been putting out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, me and you have argued over the couple of years.
Yeah.
I have always said that his son's playing basketball has been more about LeVar's ego and LeVar's money line than anything else. I've seen the way he treats his wife, who had a stroke that no one ever mentions and talks about how he treats her. He's very pig-headed. He's quick to stand in the limelight of his children who are the ones who are really doing all the work. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, don't get me wrong. He's gassed them up and he's put them in positions. I'll give him that. He's put them in positions to be successful. At the same time, he's hurt them more than he's actually helped them, especially in the last couple of years. He's a big reasons why I really feel Alonzo Ball was even traded. You know what I mean? Because, the Lakers got tired of his antics, him questioning the organization, the whole 9 yards. And honestly, I feel really bad for Alonzo Ball because you can just see where he's like, he has a look like, man, I wish you weren't my father. Like, I wish you were not here right now.
Yeah.
And it's just sad, man. Because honestly, Alonzo Ball, even though I disagree with him and his hip hop history and how he thinks Future's better than Nas, at the end of the day, he's still a nice kid, and he's still somebody who always seems to say the right thing. Now, his younger brother, he's kind of on the crazy end sometimes, the things he says. He just says silly things if you ever watch the show.
But he's young.
He's young. But, at the end of the day, I really feel like, Lonzo Ball deserves better because he's a good kid. You know what I mean? And it's just sad that his dad cares more about his ego.
Like you were saying, we always went back and forth. And one thing that I always gave him the benefit of the doubt, being a father in his situation, you always want to praise and big up your kids and everything like that. But I always felt like that was just a show.
Right.
That was just him protecting his kids from all the negativity coming their way, and he kind of like, soak it up instead of his kids. But when I saw that hurt me as a father. That I couldn't vibe with that, and I couldn't justify that. Not only that, if it's your son's company, your son should have complete say. Or at least, when he was like, oh, I don't care what your opinion is. So what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I? I am just a face, right? My reason of not going to Nike and Reebok and Adidas and stuff, I don't want to be just a face. But this proved to me all he was the face. And then on top of that, when you come out and you tell the public and the media those shoes were trash. To me, what that says is his passive aggressiveness coming out. Now, I can't necessarily talk to you face to face, son to father, so I'm gonna go air it out in front of everybody else, and that's where I think that comes from. Like, in his rookie season, when he busted those shoes out, he would bust them once a quarter. So every quarter he was switching out his shoes, right? And he came out on the Hart Show podcast, and he said that, right? And so to me, it's like at this point now you're just trying to demolish the brand from the inside out, instead of keeping it in the house, because you kept it in house all these years. This is third year in the league now.
Yeah,
so it just, unfortunately, man, I could see it unraveling already.
Yeah, big time. I mean, because think about it, Nike had a big contract for him, and LeVar Ball, Alonzo Ball, and the whole family deserved $1 billion for an unproven kid. And the offer that was offered by Nike was still a very lucrative deal. And to me, is like your own pig-headedness took money out of your son's pocket. Let me tell you something, and what I've always felt. When you have a talented son, you're in the shadows, and most importantly, you never ever, especially on something like their show is on Facebook, right? It comes on Facebook and YouTube, but you should never ever put your son down in front of anybody,
right?
Like when me and Josh have conversations. First of all, I never put him down, but if we ever have a conversations and I have to get on him for something, it's behind closed doors. Because I don't ever want anyone to see that, because at the end of the day, like that's not appropriate. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
well, I mean, if it's something like that, of course you want to handle it in closed doors, behind closed doors. But it's just like you said, the ego got to him, and at this point, the camera was there. Fuck it, I'm gonna just say whatever I want.
Yeah, see, but that works on two levels on LeVar Ball now, because not only is it a personal relationship, it's also a professional relationship, right?
Right.
Because they're not only talking about their relationship as father and son, but as the business partners and owners, right? So if you even just speaking, if they weren't father and son, that's something you still shouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of I feel like goes back to, it gives me flashback of one of our first podcasts is talking about Magic, and just kind of like the controversy, and then how like all of this stuff was being put out in public. When I was like, yo, all this stuff should have been talked about behind closed doors. Yeah. And you should have handled this and figured out, like, especially with that high of a position or whatever, it's like, it's all about image and stuff. And so, yeah, someone like LeVar Ball, I mean, I feel like he just, he don't think about things like that, or he doesn't care. Or I feel like I've always thought that LeVar Ball, no matter what he says, he just loves the publicity and the attention and the limelight. Like he'll, that saying, like, there's no such thing as bad marketing.
Yeah. I can't defend him anymore.
Well, it's bad marketing when you're taking money out of your kid. Listen, think about this. Alonzo Ball is not playing for the Pelicans, right? He doesn't have a Nike shoe deal. He got injured last year, right? Pretty significant injury. He's having to recoup. He struggled with his shot offensively. If his dad really, really cared so much about him, and people have said this, cared so much about his son, changing the game of basketball, then he could have spent a little bit more time, instead of being in the camera, making sure his son perfected his jump shot before he went to the NBA. I feel like right now, like I've always felt the same way. There's such a thing as bad marketing, but when's the last time anyone talked about Baller Brand, 3 Baller Brand?
Right. And like everything coming out is negative at this point.
Absolutely. And how many people were thinking about buying the Baller Brand shoes for $300?
Yeah. Well, from one basketball business side to another basketball business side, Kevin Durant's coming out and created the boardroom. He's trying to make himself a little mini mogul out of basketball. But recently on the Washington Journal, he's come out and he said that sometimes he hates the NBA. Sometimes he doesn't like the circus of what goes in and how people perceive players to be. But one thing that kind of caught my eye was he literally said, I'll never be attached to the city again. And he was talking about Oklahoma City because of the way they've treated him since he left. And he's like, I eventually wanted to come back to that city and be a part of that community on organization, but I don't trust anybody there now. So that shit must have been fake. What were they doing, this whole time? And I'm just like, well, you were at the height of your team's success. Yeah. Y'all went to Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, and then you were the MVP. You were the superstar. And not only did you decide to leave them, but you decided to leave them to basically their rivals or the team that they were going head-to-head with for championships. And so, yeah, people were upset. People felt a certain type of way, but that's what fans are, And him coming out with this business and trying to be something of a businessman and make something of his name, for him to kind of bash on Oklahoma City, and not only that, bash on the quote unquote circus of the NBA, kind of felt a little disingenuous, because to me, if you want to go play a game of pickup basketball, go for it. Nobody has to pay you if you love the game that much, but you're getting paid because people want to come see you, and you decide to play in the NBA. Now you're deciding to make money off of the NBA. Now you're a part of the circus that you say you don't like.
Yeah.
So at this point, what are you talking about? Why do you think he would say something like that?
Well, here's the thing, man. What I thought was interesting too is the fact they said he hates the I thought that was really honest. I always felt, we talked about this, I feel like a lot of the players do hate the circus of the NBA and how sometimes they pull you in and make controversies. Or we saw this with James Harden before the season even started, how they already created a narrative for James Harden, which cost him the MVP, in my opinion. But at the same time, you can't badmouth how the NBA is a circus when you also insinuate that circus, when you create burner accounts, when you're going and talking back and forth with plans. And I was thinking to myself, like, it's either he's saying that he was going to go back to Oklahoma City, and to me, at first, I thought maybe it was him just being self-righteous, because he was saying that, and truth be told, he really never was gonna go back to Oklahoma City. He was
when people say that.
He was just saving face to say, "Well, I was gonna go back, but."
Right. I hate when people say that.
And then I thought to myself, maybe truth be told, that maybe KD. Two things that came out of that. Number one, I think KD really is very sensitive, and he does take what people say about him and how they perceive him. Because if you go more about just how he felt when he was even in Golden State Warriors, how he really felt like he wasn't really part of that team.
Right.
It to me, KD's very sensitive. I like KD a whole lot, but I just realized he's just very, very sensitive. Because here's the thing. LeBron James got treated way worse in Cleveland when he left the first time.
Right.
But LeBron James wasn't sensitive, like, to that point where he realized that they did that. They burned his jerseys. They hated him. They booed him when he came back, because he realized they were heartbroken and they were full of emotion because they lost their best player to the Miami Heat.
Right.
He still realized that going back to his city and winning a championship was his way of saying, I'm sorry for what happened, but I told you I would bring a championship. Let's make this happen.
Right.
And he was treated way worse. KD wasn't really treated that bad from Oklahoma City. They had the right to boo them. Like you said, they were on top of. They were one game away from going to the championship again.
Yep.
At the end of the day, he never was going to go back to Oklahoma City. It was just his way to basically throw salt in their eyes again, even more. And I also think there's a jealousy from KD, because look at the way the fans embrace Westbrook.
Oh, 100. Ooh, that's a good point. 100%.
And
100%.
I think he doesn't like that, because at the end of the day, it just showed me that the real leader of the team in Oklahoma City, who the players really, really enjoyed playing with and who they liked, was Westbrook. Because since Westbrook's left Oklahoma City, they're going to do a special homage to him. He thanked the city. The city loves him. And not only that, the players are coming out and saying how anybody who is denying that Westbrook is not going to work out with the Rockets just don't understand how amazing and what a good teammate Westbrook is. These are the players. They can shit on him because all the players shitted on KD when he left. Remember that? So to me, I just think that Kevin Durant is feeling a little salty and a little bit jealous that the city doesn't embrace him the way they would embrace Westbrook. It's my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, what was the episode we talked about? Who was doing their? You were saying who was it that didn't deserve like a farewell tour?
What's her? Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo, right? So I mean, I feel like this reminds me of that just because it's like, yeah, I mean, he was a good player. He could have been great. But like a lot of just that controversy around it was just kind of how he was like as a teammate and like how he was perceived to the fans as well. And you're right. Like, look, like, man, we don't know because we're not in there, but I'm sure it's a fucking circus. And that's not just NBA. I feel like that's any professional sport. That's if you're in the music business, if you're like, there's like politics and shit that goes behind closed doors that when you're a part of it, it's probably like, man, I hate this shit. But yeah, like John was saying, like you're a part of it, and you chose to get paid to, this is your living, your job. Yeah. You got to suck it up and do it, because you're right. Yeah, you can go play pickup basketball games all you want for free and not make money if you really love the sport that much, right? But yeah, so it's just in the way he did it. So I think all in all, I'm excited for Brody.
You don't think if KD went back to Oklahoma City, the fans would embrace him and love him right off the bat?
Oh, yeah, they would.
That's just it. So that's when I know for a fact that it wasn't about you going back to City.
Yeah.
You're just being a dickwad. Damn it, I like KD too.
That's just how it is too, man, with fans. I mean, come on. They'll switch it up on you quick.
Fans are fans.
Fans are fans. Yeah, it's hard to, yeah.
So this is a Sports Chat podcast, and I want to bring up, this is our segment that we're going to talk a little noise, a little bit of trash, because we all know we got a little fantasy football league, Sports Chat Fantasy Football League started. So
where's our special guest?
I know. I don't want him on that.
Listen,
show
man.
Right now. No offense. I want him back. I need a break.
I need a break for him too. I actually went with him to Vegas. Him in his mask and his whole suit to go to the club was ridiculous. The last time I left El Chico Malo, he was drinking tequila straight up, and he was looking at the waiver wires. He's just not a good person, and watching porn. He's just not a good person. Man. Chico Malo is a bad person, guys. Stay away from that guy.
So, Khoa, what's your record?
2-0, baby.
Chris, what's your record?
1-1.
I don't even want to.
John, what's your record?
Oh, man.
John, what's your record?
0-2, man. 2 strikeouts.
0-2, man.
Ooh. It's looking. Listen, I'm going to defend myself right now. I had Drew Brees. I had Tyreek Hill. I had CJ Mosley. And I can't remember anybody off the top of my head. But I've been putting up zeros and duds because these players keep getting injured, hurt. They, I can't really do anything when it comes to just the spontaneity of injuries that happen with the NBA, NFL players. So, hey, listen, I'll take my hit. I know once everybody comes back, my team's gonna be lit.
I don't think Brees is coming back anytime soon. It's gonna help you. Let's just pull up John's team real fast, just because, and then we're gonna give some shout outs.
Oh, at least I'm not last place.
All right, so Drew Brees, he has Drew Brees. Thielen hasn't really done all that great. He has Emmanuel Sanders, another one hasn't done all that great. And he was, you know what's so funny? John was yapping his mouth at me that I picked up DJ Moore, and he's putting up way better numbers right now than from a consistent basis, the Emmanuel Sanders. But let's talk about Le'Veon Bell, man, and the Jets, man. I mean, we both agreed that the Jets would be a way better team than they've showed already, but
right.
They've been hot garbage, man. Dude, I don't know about looking at your team, John, man. You know what? You're like the Tennessee Titans right now. We just don't know. Like, you might be 8-8 and make the playoffs, but you could easily just be like.
Well, if I can squeeze in, I'll definitely be the dark horse at this point. But Khoa, you're looking pretty good, man. We going
head to head this week.
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking at your team. I feel like you could definitely pull one off.
Let me tell you this much, and I'm not trying to give you.
You gonna pull this off, Khoa?
Listen,
I hope so, but
listen, you might want to get on the waiver wire just to block some of my waiver. This is how good my waiver wire pickups.
I've been on it.
All right. Nobody picks up the people I pick up.
Ooh, okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just like,
all right.
Y'all don't know my skills.
You get some sleepers?
Huh?
You don't know your skills.
Yeah, my waiver wire skills.
The record doesn't show your skills either.
Yeah, I know. Your winning record definitely show. I just want you to know, John, you're 6 on the waiver wire right now.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, let it run through.
Number 1 on the waiver wire is, let's see.
It's like Esteban or someone.
I think so, yeah.
Well, anyways, yeah. So you and me,
Esteban's team, yep.
Khoa, going ahead. I think we got to get a little wager going, man.
Khoa's number 4 on the waiver wire.
Who brings lunch next time or dinner or whatever you like to eat at like 1 o'clock at night? So
hey, man,
whatever it is,
man's got to eat when a man's got to eat.
Breakfast.
We can do whatever. Yeah,
Right.
we do. For the
Whoever
next,
wins.
for the
No,
next
that's
show.
too easy.
What is that too easy for?
Can I say this? Whoever wins has to make the other one breakfast.
No,
That's
man.
amazing
I'm not
breakfast.
making
I don't remember the
another
last time
man
I made
breakfast.
myself breakfast.
God damn. Real talk.
If we had
Well,
the time,
I'll bet you that because you can make me breakfast anytime.
You can go fix yourself some damn
Right,
breakfast.
right.
Hey,
All
fix-
right,
fix
shut the
some
hell
shit.
up.
Hey, so let me give a shout out real fast because in our other league, this person who's number 1 in our league right now usually is always on the losing end, but he's actually playing really good right now. He has a good team. That's regulated. That's Bravo. Bravo is doing pretty well in our league. And then of course the boys number 1 fan Andre. He's got a good squad too. They're doing really well. Surprisingly, even Esteban's team, who doesn't really have any running backs, he's actually winning.
Oh my god!
as well.
Well, dude, like let's be honest though, he's been playing the worst teams out of everybody.
I don't.
Yeah,
They're
he has.
like-
He has been. Here's the thing though. If you go and look at all the games so far, honestly, you do have it pretty bad. There's always that one person in the league that runs their mouth, and then
I've been quiet too, man.
then their injuries
I
come
feel
out. It's pretty
I'm
bad.
one of the biggest trash talkers. It's my alter ego when it
I
comes
mean,
out. But
honestly,
I couldn't say nothing.
We're going in week 3 and looking at how the injuries have gone and looking at how, like you were talking about, how shitty the games are going to be this week and how the teams a lot of teams other than the 3
Yeah,
weeks.
man, you better pick up Garoppolo before I get him. I'm just letting you know. Shoot, dude.
You homer,
So-
you can go right ahead.
Huh? All right, man.
Anyways, it's still anybody. Hey, it's still anybody's game, and so it should be interesting, man. It should be interesting going the way. And shout out to my cousin Gary, the King
Carlos
Slayer.
Hyde, I'm about to pick you up, bro.
Hey, King Slayer. I just
know,
want you to
that's
know.
your cousin. I just beat
Yeah,
his ass.
Gary,
last
I just want you to know that the only thing that's getting slayed is your team, son. Why you ever come for me and pick my name out of disrespect to the real King Slayer? That's why you losing. That's why you 10th. Probably why you ain't gonna win. Matter of fact, John's got a better record than you. How do you feel about that? I know how much you hate John in the 49ers. Speak your truth, John.
Well, I gotta hope and pray, man. The back end of my season will save me, man. But we'll see.
You said
I'm taking. What?
after I mentioned the 49ers, you said back in. San Francisco 49ers back in. I just find that ironic. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Y'all got any more trash talk?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, how you feel about how your team's been performing, like specific players so far. Who's been hot, who's been not?
Oh man, looking at my team right now, man. I feel like I would have been close to maybe even beating the boys' number 1 fan, but Ezekiel Elliott came back that first week and he just really play him well. He didn't seem like he actually is starting to come up. But man, I really love Lamar Jackson. Shout out to Hector who traded Lamar Jackson with me for Russell Wilson.
You got away with one, bro.
Hey, man, it was the beginning of the season. To me, it sounded like a fair trade, man. I'm taking all the risks right now. Lamar Jackson, he's a little guy. Get hurt
I hate
anytime,
when
man.
you said that shit too, because I was like, man, it's so full of shit. I'm taking all the risks. All right, guy.
And I also like the fact that I got.
We literally talked about Lamar Jackson for at least 15 minutes, and this fool was like, "Oh, well, maybe he might be good."
Hey,
yeah, okay.
Hey,
okay.
Yo, to me, that's why I want to mention him because I knew he was going to be good. We talked about this. If you've been watching the podcast, we've been on Lamar Jackson for a while. But to me, my sneaky pickup that I thought would be really good just because of Lamar Jackson was Mark Andrews. He's tearing it up right now as far as
or Mike Andrews.
I got Mark Andrews.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, I got. He's killing it right now for me. I mean, he's got me 30 points 2 weeks in a row, basically. I mean, he's killing it, and he's one of Lamar Jackson's favorite targets. So, yo, shout out to this guy right here for picking him up. What about you, Khoa? What you like about your team?
I'm gonna take this segment off, okay?
looking.
No, you're
through.
putting it on because John ain't got shit to say about his team. That's why he's mad.
I mean, I love my receivers. I think I have some deep receivers. I got Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen,
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd, Josh Gordon. I mean, with Antonio Brown coming back, he did take a little hit, so hopefully he'll get the bounce back. I don't know what's gonna happen with the AB with all this legal shit coming up because apparently people have been saying like he's gonna get 2 weeks and then he might be out of there because I think the lawyers and all that stuff are meeting with the NFL.
Yeah,
in
man.
like this coming week. So
So real quick, I wanted to get on that. So what is it say when you got the one his ex trainer come out and she's filing for assault, but that's a civil case at this point, and she's already asked for a settlement, and he said he's turning it down. But she named 3 different instances, and then right after that, within the same week, somebody else came out, another female came out and said that he did something inappropriate. I can't remember exactly the details, but the last one, this is probably the most comical, is a doctor has sued him.
yeah.
for
like passing
farting.
gas.
Yes.
farting
Purposely passing gas in his face.
in his face.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a dude. I thought it was a girl.
Oh yeah. So that's 3. That's 3 instances. At what point does the NFL say, "Listen, bro, I'm not saying you guilty, but just go handle your business"?
Well, listen, I don't know to the extent of how guilty he is as far as the trainer goes, but those text messages to me were pretty incriminating. Him bragging about that stuff. I mean, it was very, I don't know, man. It's very cocky the way he was responding to those text messages. That's why I did it on your back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I'm
so
like,
there's some details.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. They released
ooh.
those text messages, and of course, I listen. That's why I think you're gonna be good with Gordon, because I think that if Antonio Brown gets away with all this stuff that's coming out, because look what happened to Brady and Ezekiel Elliott, and Ezekiel Elliott was found to not have done anything, and he still had to serve his time. Like, there's no way in hell that Antonio Brown doesn't get put on the commissioner's list. And
This is not a good sign. So the NFL met with the accuser for 10 hours. Usually, like in the court, right? In court, when it's an open shut case, they go the 12 jurors go in the office, come out quick. You kind of know.
10 hours.
10 hours.
Damn, that's longer. That's longer than the hours he spent.
That's like at least they got him thinking. In my opinion, at least they got him.
Oh no, man, that's longer. That's more hours spent than Antonio Brown spent at the Raiders training camp. So man, it's a long time, man.
So do you think that
keep Gordon? Don't drop him. He's about to blow up.
Any luster will rub off of the Patriots? Say that they have to suspend or like put on the commissioner list,
like
Antonio Brown?
No, because at the end of the day, what the Patriots do is they take chances on players that make their team better, enhance them. But either way, they already have a game. They were already winning before him, so they're gonna win after him, whether he's there or not. I mean, he just adds a more dynamic and keeps Brady having more weapons. But that's what they do. They always find a way to get the receivers that they need. You know what I mean? Like, there's still talks that the Eagles might be trading Alshon Jeffrey. Who you don't think the damn Patriots are going to pick up Alshon Jeffrey? And he'll probably be better.
You know, if he settles, he's pretty much done. Like seriously, the NFL will put him on the commissioner's list for the rest of the year, and then they'll tell the NFL, basically next year, it's on y'all to pick him up or not. And if he settles, it's like almost like, for all intents and purposes, that makes him look guilty at some point, or with any of these, right?
Yeah.
And with all the drama, listen, I saw it. I've seen it before with T.O. I've seen it before with Chris Johnson. I've seen it with countless other instances where once the NFL gets rid of you, I mean, nobody wants to touch you.
That's a damn shame, man. Because who has Brown in our team, in our league?
Antonio Brown.
Who's AB? I have no idea.
The guy that played last week, I think.
Oh,
but
I don't know, man. I ain't looking too good for keep Gordon. Honestly, Khoa, you got a nice stacked receivers. It should be interesting. I mean,
I think I'm gonna draft Colin Kaepernick. Just in case somebody. Listen, Steelers are looking for a quarterback. Jets are looking for a quarterback.
Well, I mean, hey, you'll live up to your team name. So, I mean,
hey, man.
that'll work out.
Personally, John, you need to get rid of that team name and figure out a different name. Like,
Hey, listen, man.
Wanna Be Winners. That'd be a great name for you. Wanna Be Winners.
Hey, listen. Y'all
That's a nice
talking
ring
smack
to it.
now, because that's at the end of the year when I'm coming back for you. Oh, I'm getting all your heads, man. I'm taking all your heads. Talking about Kingslayer, fuck that. I am coming for all of y'all. All of y'all. Trust me when I say this, man. Y'all get your licks in now.
The super duper duds. Like that for you, man.
All right, cool. I'm take it. I can take it.
Well, we'll see what happens, man. Because
All right, man. Should we get into some picks?
Let's do it. So
the
every week we're
highlighted
gonna
games?
What?
It's the highlighted games of the week. What we got?
So every week we're gonna get into top 5 games of the week, which this week is kind of hard to kind of look at. So we got Tennessee and Jacksonville Thursday night football.
Well, it's an interesting game if you're in the AFC South, which we are. So we'll be watching because
Jalen Ramsey is gonna be on the team.
probably not.
I think he is.
You see when he replied to what was it like DeAndre Hopkins' post?
Yeah.
So he like DeAndre Hopkins posted something. And he was welcoming Russell Westbrook to Houston, and then Jalen Ramsey hopped on and said, "Oh, so superstars meeting up in Houston now, huh?" And had like the little eyes emoji.
Oh,
And then all these people started liking it. Like I was like,
Yeah, I don't think Jacksonville would never trade Ramsey to the Texans. Not straight up like that. He'd have to.
Not if we offered 3 first-round picks like we did for Alonso.
This is what you do. Listen, you go, you sign with another team, guaranteed contract, figure out a way how to get them to fine you so much to where they take away the guaranteed contract. Then you can get to any team you want, and you can choose the Texans. But you gotta go the AB route if he wants to be on the Texans.
sounds like you have some experience being a GM. Huh. You gotta.
So who you got?
Get your application ready.
Right now Texans.
Tennessee versus Jackson.
I would love to be a GM. Let's see. Honestly, I think that right now the morale is shit for shit right now in Jacksonville, which is really disappointing me because I was having high hopes for Jacksonville because I really like the ownership. But I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans, formerly the Houston Oilers.
I told you.
And a stinker game. Like, I'm talking about
this is
like 15-13, just some stupid score. This is going to be
you mean like 13-12?
Yeah, something like that, man. Just something
score.
Just something ignorant, man. Just because I think it's going to be all defense and not a lot of offense.
Well, here's I think that if Jalen Ramsey is on the team, which I do think he will be on the team, they win. It is going to be all defense. And at this point, it's like who makes the least mistakes. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to galvanize, not for the coach, but in spite of the coach and around Jalen Ramsey, because it just seemed like when the spat happened, they were all kind of on Jalen Ramsey's side. They understood his frustrations. So
now
I got the Jacksonville Jaguars.
But before you go ahead and stamp on that, remember Carlos Hyde just ran the Jacksonville Jaguars for 90 yards.
Right.
Derrick Henry's a way better running back.
No, 100%.
That's all I'm saying about that. Go ahead, Khoa. Who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's going to be a shit for shit show, but I want to go with the Jags as well. I mean, they're home, and yeah, I hate both teams, so whatever. I'll go Jags.
If the most boring teams ever playing each other on Thursday. Why is it we get one great Thursday game and then the next one's just shitty?
No offense, but this week was tough.
All right, so Khoa and John are going with Jacksonville. I'm going with Tennessee Titans. All right, what's the second
next game?
Oh, this is a good one.
Well, I'm gonna leave the best kind of towards for the last, but
that's cool.
I like this. This one's more of an exciting game on paper than it is maybe actually being played out. But Los Angeles Rams travel to Cleveland, Ohio, and face the Browns. So, after what y'all saw on Monday night,
overrated. Baker Mayfield
and that OBJ connection. It wasn't too bad. Nick Chubb versus Todd Gurley maybe not that healthy, but I don't know. So who do you think gets it done?
Rams, hands down. I think that I saw how much Baker Mayfield has struggled against the Jets defense and as well as against the Tennessee defense. And now they're about to go and face an elite defense. Baker Mayfield has thrown more interceptions for touchdowns the last couple of years than any of the other rookie quarterbacks has come out. I'm sorry. I think he's completely overrated. When you play for a Big 12 college, you don't necessarily learn how to play a real, offense and play against real defenses. So I got the Rams blowing them out, man. I got the Rams all the way.
Well, you got to sit out a year. Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech. But, it's just.
Rams.
Rams. He got the Rams. Khoa, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going Rams, man.
Yeah, I got to say the same thing. I do believe that Baker Mayfield is a little bit overrated. I'm not saying that he will be a bad quarterback, but it's for all the hype.
Too much hype.
I automatically see Kyler Murray being better.
Hell yeah.
You look at the two players, and Kyler Murray just took him about 3 quarters, but it started to click. Even versus the Ravens, who they gave a good hard game to, who we all agree are one of the best teams in the league. For a rookie quarterback to come out and look that good, I was impressed. So game number 3, I got to go with the Monday Night Football game. Chicago versus Washington. And the reason I'm picking this game as one of the top 5 is because it's a Monday night. This one's, again, a tough watch.
Oh, yeah.
So... oh, it's so difficult. So Trubisky's yet to throw a touchdown. All right. And who's the quarterback for the Redskins right now?
Case Keenum.
H-Town Case Keenum.
Is he even? He's not injured right now.
No, he's been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been.
I mean, of course, his week 1 was kind of an outlier. So,
yeah.
Man, I don't think he's not gonna be able to do that consistently. But
who you got?
Well, I'm curious about this game, and I'm going to be intrigued in watching this because I think the big surprise on the Washington Redskins is their rookie wide receiver has become elite, and that's Terry McLaurin. The boy is he's on my team, John. You don't have to worry about that. He's on my team. But anyways, you can't pick him up on the waiver wire. But he's tearing it up right now, and of course I'm always going to be cheering for Case Keenum in U of H. But when I have to really break it down, Chicago, to me, offense should be a lot better than what they've showed the last 2 games. I think they finally let Montgomery run wild, and I think that Trubisky has a good game. They got too many weapons, and Chicago's defense is very elite, so I got Chicago winning it. I actually got Chicago blowing them out.
Yeah, I wasn't
blowing them out.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I believe that Chicago, they're 0-2. Well, no, they're 1-1, but they barely won on the field goal. But you know what they won, so
they're gonna rush Case Keenum. And one thing that I like, the one thing that Case Keenum showed, when he is rushed, he makes a lot of stupid decisions. So that's why I feel like there's gonna be a blow. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of turnovers. And I don't know.
I got Chicago as well.
Yeah.
I'm
cheering for Washington, but Chicago's.
Yeah. So Bears are actually they're 6.5 point favorites.
Ooh, that's a big favorite.
But man, I'm gonna go with the Skins in this one.
Nice.
I'm gonna go against the grain. Maybe because I'm being a homer for Case Keenum, but also because I have no particular for either of those teams. But I believe they can pull it off. But we'll see if Trubisky can.
Hopefully it's a good game. I like when the Monday night games are close. Like, I hope it's a good game. Hopefully it's not.
I'm
not talking about
a good game, but especially the primetime games.
Well, I hope it's like 7-3. I want it to be like 21-24, something good, like something that you can get into.
This is already their second primetime game, so hopefully it's a better show.
Right, yeah.
They're underachieving, that's for sure.
All right, so game number 4, got to go with the hometown favorite, Houston Texans versus, and they travel to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Ooh.
All right, so at this point, we're going to find out who the Texans really are. All right? Defensively, offensively, you shouldn't have any questions after this game because Chargers are always that good team, not great, but somebody that will give you a good test. Phillip Rivers has always been a really, really, really good quarterback. Just never seemed to take it over the edge. But we'll see. Who you got, Chris?
I don't want to answer yet.
Khoa, you want to take this one? And listen. I want you to let's put all our feelings aside. I want you to be honest in your pick. What's the line right now?
They're of course LA is gonna be they're favorites by 3, which is pretty natural.
That's not bad
For hometown.
Yeah.
Home team, yeah.
Yeah, I think over unders are sitting at around 49. Man, that'd be a
Over under is 49.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a shootout.
yeah.
Ooh.
I'm hoping it is. I mean, I hope we could make some stops, of course, but. Man, I never want to fucking say anybody but the Texans. I don't never want to. This is why I don't.
This is just pinned to the paper, bro. That's all.
Mm.
See,
but when it's close like that, because I mean, did you think Saints and Texans were gonna be that close?
No, not at all.
See, so man, I was ready to rub it in y'all's motherfucking faces when we won, but god damn it, Aaron Colvin. You know what? Hey man, call me a homer. I'm sticking with Houston.
Okay, Chris.
I know. You know, this wasn't the most pretty win we had this last week, but maybe hope we can build on that momentum. Let's take it all the way.
John, go first, man.
All right.
I'm gonna go last, man.
Listen, I think it's so much harder for a team to travel to the coast like that, whether East and West Coast.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I think that's a tough travel. At the end of the day, I just don't see us being mentally there yet. We'll leave it close to the end. I see that it's a classic Houston tale. I hope Deshaun Watson, once he gets the lead, he keeps it. But if you're putting a gun to my head and ink to this paper, I got to go with the Chargers.
Break the tie.
One thing that already is proven in this season is Deshaun Watson is a man. I said he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. All right. So I'm going to eat my words. I am going to
say that Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback.
Hell no. I'm going to say this.
Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback.
I think if Deshaun Watson gets more than 4 or 5 sacks because of how athletic their defense is, the Chargers are going to win. And I'm very scared and fearful every time Deshaun Watson is at quarterback because of this, and the offensive line still hasn't proven to be able to protect him. But if it is a shootout, which is apparent based off of what everyone's saying, I think that if it's a shootout, I think Deshaun Watson is just that much overwhelming and just a better quarterback at this point than Rivers. So I'm going to go with the Houston Texans winning it out.
Wow.
By a touchdown.
Woo.
So,
damn.
I think in Deshaun Watson we trust, man. He's the man.
All right. So.
Oh, man, I'm already hating this pick already. I think I lost that one. Come on, Deshaun.
Game of the week. First heavyweight bout of the season.
Yeah, let's go heavyweight right now.
Baltimore travels to Kansas City. The Chiefs versus the Ravens. So, what's the line, first of all, Khoa? Who's the favorite team according to SI?
Believe it or not, Chiefs, of course.
The Chiefs are favorite? Well, they're the home favorite.
I think about like 6. Yeah,
by
so
6?
About a touchdown or less.
Whoa. I think that if...
Think it'll be that close?
I think that if Jalen Ramsey makes it to the Chiefs will win. But no, in all intents and purposes, I don't see Lamar Jackson having a phenomenal game like that. Like at some point, he has to come back down to earth. Now I'm saying his earth may be still higher than 99% of the league, but 250, 150, I can't see that again. The Chiefs and the Ravens, I gotta go with the Chiefs. Until somebody can beat the Chiefs, until somebody can beat the New England Patriots, I'm gonna keep it that way. Patriots, Chiefs.
Is that at
Rams,
Arrowhead?
Ravens. Yeah, it's at Arrowhead. But man, you don't want to talk about a shootout? You think it's gonna be a shootout? Obviously I got the Chiefs, but
The line is 55 points. Or that's over under.
Listen, I'm about to speak my truth on this right now, man. If there's ever been a team that's gonna go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, it is the Baltimore Ravens. They are stacked defensively. They are stacked offensively, and you know they want this game. They're gonna come well prepared. They're well coached. He's the better coach of the Harbaughs. I think they're gonna be up for this game, and I really think they're gonna show up, and I think they're gonna come. Like this is. To me, this is a game that Baltimore is going to come out and play with a sense of urgency because they want to play hard and they want to show that they're the best team. So I got the Baltimore Ravens winning by 2 touchdowns.
whoa.
Hell yeah. Baltimore's going to come out to play, guys. I'm telling you, Baltimore is no joke.
Okay. Who you got, Khoa?
I got to break the tie now? Ooh. Ravens and Chiefs. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the Ravens on this one. I'm a sucker for upsets. I'll say that. That's probably gonna be a theme in the way that I do a lot of these picks. If I was a betting man, I love betting for the underdog. I love a good underdog story. Not that Baltimore is really that big of an underdog, but yeah, man.
You at the Baltimore
Hopefully, it will be a shootout. Some good offense, good defense, but I see Baltimore pulling it off.
So Baltimore has basically beaten 2 teams that haven't won. You get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that Baltimore isn't a good team, but they may be a little inflated, defensively speaking.
And Kansas City just played teams that won too?
Oh, I'm just saying, like, who? Let's see. So Baltimore played Miami, and then they played Phoenix, right? Mm-hmm. Who did Kansas City play?
Jacksonville and Oakland.
Mm-hmm. Jacksonville and Oakland. Oakland won. Week 1. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that.
So this is also their first game at home.
Kansas City's been doing this. Baltimore just started doing this. 2 weeks in.
What's the biggest thing that separates both Kansas City Chiefs from the Ravens, right? Like, you could sit here and talk about how dynamic their offense is and how well Mahomes is playing.
Defensively.
Okay. I will always give the edge to the team that I feel that can make the stops when need be. Baltimore is going to make those stops. Those guys are going to come to play. I'm telling you right now, based on some of the skittish things that I've seen Mahomes do, they're going to come after Mahomes. And I really think that John Harbaugh, I think they're going to be ready to play.
One of the things I always like about football, and the funnest time to play football, in my opinion, is rain. When it's rainy, and it's predicted to be raining at kickoff. When it's rainy, it's messy and it's dirty. Oh man, I love that kind of football. And
that's another edge you got to get Baltimore. They used to play in that grimy weather, that nasty weather. Yeah. Baltimore, I'm telling you, man.
You know what? At the end of the day, man, this is like backyard football. Both of them.
It's gonna be good football.
It's like we all pick 11 players and just like kill the man with the ball, basically.
I also think Mark Ingram has an awesome game. I see him going for at least close to 150 yards.
Okay.
Buck 50?
Take a sip.
Hey, man. All right, man. I come back next week and it happens. I mean, I'm not even going to say nothing. I'm just going to do like this.
All right. We're going to see what these picks look like. Anything else, guys? You got anything for Off the Dome this week?
Khoa?
Mr.
What is it? I know it's been a minute since we've been on, so there's a couple things that, have happened since U.S. Open wrapped up. We had was it Serena losing?
Damn.
In the final, I don't even remember what her name is that one. And then of course Nadal taking it, so he's at Grand Slam number 19.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he got emotional too. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
like, this
yeah.
is some of the best.
That was actually a really good game. I'm pretty sure. It was closer than I thought.
That Russian dude, man, hilarious. The guy that was
Medvedev. Yeah.
Medvedev. Speaking of Russians,
yeah. So I think it was that same day we had UFC 242 with Khabib and was that Poirier?
Dustin Poirier.
I mean, I didn't realize. I was like, wait. What time is that? 'Cause I forgot it was at Dubai. So it was like at 1 p.m. here. I was like, God damn.
It was pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know, no offense, but that was a horrible decision. A horrible decision to decision? Listen, I don't know how much
to have it on pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was on pay-per-view. It should have been free. It's not necessarily free, but at least ESPN Plus. Man, you have it at 2:00. How many people are gonna pay for that?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the rest of the world,
especially when football season just started. Come on.
They would have had more viewership if they made it free. They should have made it free.
But you know, they apparently Dubai paid them so much money. So hey, you know, you got the money, you can make the rules. But But anyways, it was to be expected. And to be honest with you, somebody as dominant as Khabib. I think he's more dominant than John Jones. And John Jones is somebody I consider the greatest of all time.
What?
Yeah, but Khabib, when's the last time you see him not finish somebody? Ali Quinta is the only one in like the last 5 fights that's even lasted with him. And this guy doesn't knock anybody out. He's just all on you, grappling, wrestling. And like, you know, it's like almost like an anaconda when you watch him. You like, you breathe, take it. Dustin Poirier was breathing heavy after the first round, and all Khabib was doing was basically laying on him, you know. So every time Dustin Poirier took a breath, it looked like Khabib was like, all right, let me get a little bit tired, just like an anaconda. So it's impressive to see how what they call he climbs the ladder, and it's just like his legs wraps around his legs, and he just eventually gets into a dominant position. Yeah, man. Khabib is probably the most dominant MMA athlete right now.
Pound for pound? You think so?
Pound for pound, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you guys an opinion, because I'm kind of bothered by it. Like, so, you know, obviously Khabib and his team are fishing to fight PSG.
GSP.
Or GSP, yeah. Sorry. I don't want to say PSG. Jesus.
What? Paris Saint-Germain?
Right. No, George St. Pierre.
Okay, so they want to fight him, right? And so when they mention what about a rematch with McGregor, they all keep saying we're not gonna fight McGregor because he hasn't done anything,
right?
And he hasn't won anything,
right?
So I'm not counting the fight against Mayweather as really anything because we knew that what was gonna happen, but it was a ballsy thing. But other than that, the only loss that he's had in the UFC has been against Khabib.
Yeah.
So for them to keep saying that he hasn't done anything, hasn't won anything, but you're gonna give it to GSP, he hasn't done anything. So like is it really that McGregor hasn't done anything, or is it that maybe they're scared of McGregor for a rematch?
I don't necessarily think they're scared of McGregor. One, I don't think they want to give McGregor any money anymore. He disrespected their family, their religion, their culture, and so they're like, well, if I fight him, I'll be basically giving McGregor money, and I don't want to do that. But at the same time, it's like, how much is your pride worth? You know, you're gonna make a shit ton of money too. So even if you were to fight McGregor, now one thing that I can always remember him saying in his interviews is, at this point, it's not about the money for Khabib; it's about his legacy, and he'll never be able to fight John Jones. Weight wise, it will never happen. But he does have a similar weight class to GSP. And all three of those, the one thing that they have in common is people saying they're the greatest of all time. So I think that's the main motivation for Khabib to fight GSP, is so that he can take that I guess quote unquote title of being the greatest of all time.
Doesn't it feel like that if he fights GSP, that it's equivalent to like when Mayweather finally fought Pacquiao? Because I just feel like that Khabib knows he's gonna beat GSP.
Yes.
So all you're doing is just so you can say you beat one of the greatest, to say you're the greatest.
Yes.
But to me, and I get the disrespect that McGregor did to you and your
Right,
family
right.
and your country and your religion, even your wife. But there's no one that deserves a rematch than McGregor. Like to me, it just makes more sense that you want to fight McGregor, because to me, what's better to solidify you as the greatest fighter? To fight an over-the-top GSP late in his career who's probably not even going to get out the first round, or fighting McGregor, who people still feel is the one of the best fighting champions of all time, and beating him single-handedly again for the second time. To me, beating McGregor single-handedly a second time, to me, speaks more about your legacy than fighting an old GSP. That's just my opinion.
Well, I just don't think they look at it like that. They and him fighting Dustin Poirier, period, shows me that they have no interest in fighting McGregor. McGregor would have to almost be in a position of where he's a champ, or he's the next in line.
Well, that's just it. So now, what's his face that just won? Who just won? Guthrie, right? Or how you say his name?
What are you talking about?
Gaethje.
Oh, Justin Gaethje?
Gaethje, there you go. So he just won. So now people are trying to say, well, he wants McGregor.
Right.
So if McGregor comes out, because McGregor said that he liked to fight this year, he fights and Gaethje, and he beats Gaethje, and then goes and beats boy who just lost to Khabib. Doesn't that solidify him as being?
Yeah.
So what happens if that is the case and he beats those two players? Two fighters. Doesn't Khabib have to face him? And what if Khabib doesn't face him?
Honestly, McGregor doesn't have to. One, he doesn't have to fight anybody.
That's true.
But say he does have to fight it. It doesn't have to be Justin Gaethje. It doesn't even have to be Dustin Poirier. If he fights anybody and he wins within in any type of knockout or spectacular fashion, he's on a fast track to the title. But I mean,
what happens if that's the case? Because personally, right now, I think it should already be the case. I think that Dana White, who only cares about making money, should look at this like, honestly, the most deserving person to take Khabib right now is McGregor for the rematch.
You can't necessarily do that, because you have a stable of fighters, and you have to make it seem like there's a ladder. Right, you have to make a fake ladder saying that if you beat this person, you go up to this person, so on and so on.
But they haven't even followed that stupid ass ladder at times, man. At the end of the day,
they kind of do.
At the end of the day, it's what's best for what's going to bring in the biggest viewers. So we know, especially when McGregor is saying, "I'll even fight you in Russia," if that's what's going to take for you to fight me again.
Right.
Well, my question to you guys is, if Khabib still says no, does that mean he gets his title strip?
Yes.
Good. I hope that happens.
Oh yeah, they've stripped them before.
Then we'll see how.
But actually, the fight, the biggest fight to make in it in the UFC that's not like big names is Tony Ferguson and Khabib, and that's the legit fight. Tony Ferguson and Khabib have been scheduled to fight 3 times, I believe. And every time Tony Ferguson gets injured, or Khabib gets injured, or
Khabib
misses
wants
weight,
to fight a bear or something, can't.
Yeah, Tony's a top contender.
Yeah, he's number one.
So, okay, I'm saying this because I like the way I still believe in Kanye West is how I feel about McGregor. I still believe in him. I feel like his road to redemption is through Khabib. And I think that hopefully everything that's happened to him, he's humbled himself. But I really, for me, Khabib, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, can we put this in Russian? Is there any way that you can go ahead and truly solidify your legacy as the greatest of all time by giving McGregor one more shot in Russia to like beat him in the first round? I just think that would be awesome. I will be a believer in you.
This is the last thing I'm going to say about this. All right. What you just said. McGregor needs Khabib to solidify McGregor's legacy.
That's true.
Khabib does not need McGregor to solidify.
You
know why?
Why?
And that's the only thing. Khabib beat him.
Right, but every champion gets a rematch, because if it was vice versa, Khabib would win.
If they retired today, Khabib's a better fighter.
Don't you want to see McGregor fight Khabib again?
Oh, I love it.
Everybody does. Yeah.
Don't you think that McGregor would actually be a lot more threatening and maybe have a chance to beat Khabib out of everybody right now? Right now, we know Khabib is the most dominant fighter. No one can give him a run for his money.
Until Daniel Cormier fucked up, and lost his title, John Jones and Daniel Cormier was the big fight. Now, since that's gone, McGregor and Khabib is the big fight.
But I was saying, don't you think McGregor has a better chance of dethroning
Khabib?
the Bear champion than anybody else?
Anybody else? Tony Ferguson is the biggest question mark, but I think
who else? It's McGregor. It's McGregor.
McGregor.
So let's make it happen. I'll actually rent the damn thing. I hate renting UFC.
All right. My voice is going out. So, anything else, Khoa? What do we got?
We almost wrapping up Astro season. So, how you feeling about where we're at?
Oh man, I predicted this in the beginning of the season.
What's that?
That Bregman was going to be one of the candidates for MVP. So right now, I'm intrigued. Even though it's the last few games we're playing against some no names, Houston is still first place in all of baseball right now. It's
tied with the Yankees.
Tied with the Yankees, and with Trout getting hurt and Bregman been playing amazing, I think that it would be super awesome, and I really think it's gonna happen. I think Bregman is gonna make I think Bregman's gonna make. If you see his numbers, man, he's been putting up some crazy numbers. Yeah. I mean, he was the player of the week in August. We didn't even talk about that. I think Bregman could easily win the MVP, and I think Yordan Alvarez is gonna win Rookie of the Year, and I think that we all know who's gonna get the Cy Young Award. We already know who's gonna get that. It's gonna be an Astro. We know that for sure. But and then we're gonna win the our pennant, and then we're gonna win the championship. We're gonna win all the awards. Yeah. We're winning them all. We're even gonna get that.
That's a hell of a.
We're even coming for the SP award for the best team of the year.
Ooh.
Done.
Oh, I like that. What's the magic number though? I think it's like 4 games now.
What?
Where we clinch.
Is it 4? Yeah, it might be.
It was. I think it was 5 before today was over, but.
Look at that,
man!
Ridiculous, ridiculous. Look where this guy catches the ball. Look, he can't. Look at they didn't show the highlight, but he goes and starts showing the ball.
Yeah.
Look at that boy's a beast.
Man, I'm telling you, nobody looks like
450.
I keep saying
feet.
this, and nobody. I don't know if I'm not yelling it loud enough, but this is Barry Bonds when he was young. I mean, I'm talking about offensively. Barry Bonds. I've yet to see anybody that looks like him.
Let me pull something out real fast because I thought this was pretty interesting. A good friend of ours, owner of Soundbox, one of the owners of Soundbox, Dewey sent us that they're actually making a petition, right, Khoa? In New Jersey, right? Is it New Jersey?
For what? What are you saying?
Where's that? Yeah, a petition has been filed requesting that the state of New Jersey's $5 million sports betting wager cap be waived for an upcoming bet of who's going to win the World Series. They want to be able to bet more money than $5 million on the Houston Astros. What's that telling you?
Ooh, snap. Damn.
Because there's an anonymous bettor, right?
There's an anonymous bettor who wants to put way more money, and I think they were joking.
Everybody was.
So the casino's asking to waive it.
No, there's a petition.
Oh.
It's like the people betting.
Right. Because the most you can bet is $5 million.
Right.
They want to be able to bet way more.
Yeah.
Now, the theory in our little Astros chat is that it's Mattress Mac trying to find a way to get all his money back when he gives away all this free furniture, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But honestly, like everybody, when I was in Vegas, we all wore our Astros gear. We wore our Astros hats. And so many people came to us and was like, yo, the Astros are going to win. We're going to bet on the Astros. So many people already in Vegas. I had somebody who was from Los Angeles, who's a Dodgers fan with the Dodger hat, come up to me and tell me directly, listen, the Dodgers are good, but I'm telling everybody, when it comes to the World Series, they're not beating the Astros. Astros are just too good. They're just too good. And I'm like, sir, with all due respect, I've been trying to say the exact same damn thing. And then we fist pumped. It was awesome. True story.
Hey, man. We need to go to Las Vegas a little bit more, man. Come back with some good stories. This has been the Sports Chat Podcast. Guys, I think we're going to wrap this up. Khoa, you got anything else? Chris?
Hey, man, I'm glad we're back on this. I'm glad that we can get back. Sorry, to everyone that watches that we didn't do it last week. That was on me. I got home from Vegas pretty late, so I'll take accountability for that. But most importantly, man, it's good to be back with you guys. I miss you guys. And Deshaun Watson is the best quarterback in all of NFL.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Find us now. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, however you guys want to tune us in. Check us out. Take us on the road with you. Take us on the run with you. Wherever you want to take us, we got you.
Fall asleep to my sexy voice.
Follow us, like, share, and guys, you have a good evening. Peace.
Peace.
Out.